everyone, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Welcome to a very long awaited video as well. This is the June wrap up in my reading journals. I am just going to start this out very quickly and say I'm sorry that this has taken exceptionally long to get up on the channel. July has been quite an interesting month. I've had quite a few health condition ideas arise that I have to get checked out. I'm now tracking a whole bunch of stuff for like extra tests in the future. So it's been quite challenging that way. And also every month I have a week or so where I am not the only one in the living room at all times. And that has actually been extended a little bit. So I haven't had my own space for a little bit, and it's been fine, but I've tried really hard to wait until I was a bit more quiet to do this, but nevertheless we're going to go with it because it is the 28th of July when I narrate this, and I actually filmed this on the last day of June. So as you can imagine, it's been sitting there for a while. Now there are a couple of mistakes that I will point out as we get into the video, but currently we're on the Days Red Pixel and we're flying right through it. It was a very good month for June reading. I read a total of 16 books. I specifically stuck to 16. After May and reading 21 books, I knew I had to remain within 16 books. Just because I'm worried about how many pages I have left in this journal, I decided in the end that is too much stress. If I want to read more, I will. I'll just put in a whole bunch of tip-ins. But for June, I was like, you are sticking to 16, and I managed to do it. So we are now on the book club's read page, just sticking those down. I have lost the tiny little piece of what I'm putting down now. It says TWE. I've lost the other ones that say GBC, so I didn't put any of them down, unfortunately. And then I found a stray TWE down the bottom when I was finishing off this page here. But this is just where I track 2 different book clubs. Next year I'll be tracking 3 because I'm actually a part of 3, and I've just given up trying to track all 3 on this page. But for July I had the field guide for June we had The Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong side there. And then for the Goobers Book Club, we had Dark Rise by C.S. Paquette. I hope I'm saying that right. I gave 4 stars to Dark Rise and 3.5 to Black Sun. Moving into the June segment of this journal, I'm going to stick down all the covers of the books that I read. And like I said, I read 16 of them. It was a pretty good month. I think I had a really good average as well. Like I said, this was filmed back in June, so I actually can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's something like 4.1 or 4.2. I may be wrong here, but I did have very good reads overall. The lowest rating was a 3-star read, so I call that a win whenever the months are like that. And I still had I had quite a few 5-star reads. June is my birthday month, and it was very nice to have quite a few 5-star reads. I will say that The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating and Other War Crimes by Tiffany Hunt was expected to be a 5-star read for me. The longer I read it, the more I was just like, I'm going to have to give this 4.5 stars. So I was a little bit disappointed about that, but 4.5 is still really good. And yeah, I had like 3 or 4 5-star reads. My favorite read of the month was the Antiquarian's Object of Desire by India Holton, which I already knew was going to be my favorite read of the month, just because I have been waiting to read that book for the longest time, and it was just such a great read. And then I also loved Hopeless Necromantic by Charlotte Breyer. Such a good read. And I wasn't expecting to love Violet Thistlethwaite Is Not a Villain Anymore as much as I did, but that's another 5-star read that I had. I did also reread This Monster of Mine by Shalini Abhisakara in preparation for This Blade of Ours, which was out at the end of the month, and it was my last read book of the month, and I gave the reread 5 stars. Unfortunately for me, I think I went into the sequel with so much expectation because I loved the first book, and I really wish that it just stayed as a standalone, to be honest. I did not enjoy the book at all, but equally I loved it enough to give it 4 stars. It's kind of one of those weird ones where the writing's really good, you can't fault the writing, the storyline isn't what you wanted to read, but equally you can't fault the storyline kind of either. It was just one of those weird ones where I knew I had to give it 4 stars, but I can't say I enjoyed it. So isn't that a weird one where you give it 4 stars, but you're like, didn't really enjoy that. It's kind of weird when you have like such high expectations. I think it makes the drop even harder, even though you can recognize that the book is good. So we are now on the reading log here and just putting in all the format stickers. This is moving by extremely fast, and I just can't seem to keep up with the video as it's playing. But I had a few physical reads over this month, and if you've been following along, physical reads have been very low on my list just because I have a wrist injury. I find it easier to listen to audiobooks and read digital books, so I don't generally pick them up. But I had 2, The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating, and then also To Cage a Wild Bird, which was my first time reading with my new book club that I belong to. And I also had a mixed read with the Antiquarians. So I had the physical book and the audiobook going at the same time. So yeah, and I also did that with Black Sun, except I didn't actually read the physical book. I had the ebook for that. So I put the wrong sticker down there, but never mind. It's a mixed read. That's what I generally put down for mixed read anyway. So that is my main journal done first. However, I did notice that I had mixed up on these 2 here. So I did fix that in the end. For some reason on the front page, they were in the right order. But on that list there, I must have printed them out the wrong way. And to the reading data journal now, and we're in the series tracker. I can't remember how many series I finished in this segment. I think it was only 1, which would have been the Love's Academic series by India Holton. There was only 3 books in that series, and obviously Antiquarian was the last book in that one. Also, I really hope I'm saying that word right. The amount of times that I've Googled how to say it and then forget how to say it is beyond me. So, oh no, and I also finished This Monster of Mine because it was a duology. So those 2 series towards my goal of trying to finish 26 series in 2026. I have decided that I'm going to make tiny little stickers that say 2026 on them and then go stick them on all the series that I've finished this year, just so I can track a bit more clearly, because obviously I've been using that red line to commit to the whole series being completed. But I don't know what years they've been finished in. So I could just write it on there. Maybe I could just write it on. But it would be really handy to have like something that just pops off the page, and stickers always have that white border around it. So perhaps I'll do that before you see this next. Maybe not. Like I said, it is the 28th of July. So that means another wrap-up video will be filmed very, very soon. And yeah, we're moving into the own TBR now. I think I checked off 2 books. Just the 1. But I did add quite a few books that I hadn't recently added to the list and check them off as well because I've read them already. And also we are going to get into the 2026 portion of this journal in a minute. I'm just going to point it out really quickly now while I'm writing in all these titles. I missed the format page and the length page when I was doing my visual tracking. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. And that makes a lot of sense because when I did my quarterly flip through video, I was looking at the numbers on that page and going, these don't actually add up at all. And then also on here, I'm looking for the numbers that I need to try and figure out how much this all adds up to. And I have somehow mixed up the numbers on my quarter 2 stats page. So it says 18,409 pages were read over the quarter 2, and I've gone and put 18,049 on the quarter 2 stats page. So I'm going to have to re-add that up and figure out which one it is. I'm not going to fix it, to be honest. That page just still gives me nightmares after how long it took to set it up. You'll see that in the quarter 2 flip through. Did I say quarter 3? I meant quarter 2. But yeah, here we are on the ratings and genres, and you can see that these are going really well, and then I just flipped straight into the yearly stats. So I just must have grabbed the pages together and carried on with life. Didn't even question it at the time. I think I did film this on a low energy day. You can always tell when that has happened, well at least I can when I'm looking it back, because there's quite a lot of errors that I have to sort of navigate when I'm doing these narrations. But overall, it was a really good month of reading. Like I said, it was such a good month that I had a 4.1 average. There it is on the screen. So that was very helpful. towards the overall rating of books this year. I've had a pretty decent reading year, if I'm honest. I can't remember. I think I was at 92 at the end of June. I think I was at 92. So I'd read 92 books at that point, which was much higher than I was anticipating at this time of the year. But overall, I don't think I've had too many bad books, and my DNFs list is quite short. So I think I'm doing pretty well this year. We're now flipping straight into the June stats page. I honestly feel like this video is going super fast. Normally these are only like a 30-minute video or so. This is going to be only like 18 minutes. And I haven't done anything differently with my speed count or anything, but I have updated my version of DaVinci. And so perhaps they have somehow sped up 4 times speed to even more than 4 times speed. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm so tired. This feels like it's going so fast. Anyway, I'm going to set up the stats page now. I don't think we had very many errors on this, which is quite unusual for me. Normally I always have an error on this page. I did do this border badly, I will admit. The bottom line, the double line effect is atrocious. Ruler's not straight. Didn't take care with it at all. So we'll put that as the error for this page. But my pie charts, I didn't make a mess on them. So I'm very pleased with that, because for the last 2 months that's been a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to stick down a whole bunch of stats, and I'm going to read it off the screen today because I haven't got my book beside me. I do apologize. But like I said, I read 16 books, and that was enough for me for the month of June. I was foaming at the mouth a bit because I finished most of my reading around the 23rd of the month, and I was just like, I want to read something else. And because my last book, This Blade of Ours, was not going the way that I was anticipating, I got really quite cranky and didn't want to read it. So then that dragged it out, and I just wanted to read something else instead. And I've learned from that now to just read something else instead of just trucking along and saying you have to stick to 16. It didn't quite work out in my favour. But my least liked read of the month was The Mud Puddle Manual of Natural Magic by Clara Bloom, I think the author's name is. I just didn't enjoy this one. So I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't necessarily bad. It was just not for me. And we can read on the page now once I flip back over. So I read 5,942 pages that averaged out to 4.1 star rating. I had 30 hours of listening. I read 4 arcs. I didn't DNF anything. I had 4 library hires. 14 books were part of a series, and 2 were standalones. I need my hand to get out of the way to read the rest. I was participating in 3 book clubs, and I hauled full books. So a pretty decent month overall. And as you see, we're now working on those pie charts, and I'm going to put down the information on the star rating right now. So I had 4 5 stars, 1 4.5, 6 4 stars, 3 3.5, and 2 3-star reads. So all in all, a very good month of reading. And here is where I made a little error, though. I admit that I put down the 5-star title first before putting down the little circles that I colour in for the colour key. And that does mean everything's sort of shifted over one row. So it doesn't really actually fit underneath the headers as well as it should. So that's something I'm going to have to look out for when we go to doing July stats. I don't want to make that mistake again. But for format, I had 2 physical reads, 7 ebooks, 5 audiobooks, and 2 mixed reads. And I'm admittedly with the audience, I don't know why I keep putting down new adult. I think it's because I've always done it, but I haven't read anything this year that has really gone out of its way to be I'm a new adult book. I think that's just down because so many people class new adult as either YA or adult. It doesn't seem to sit in its own category as much as it would. So when you go to the shops or something, it's always in one of those other categories other than new adult. And so that's a little bit challenging. So I'm thinking about scrapping it, but equally then what if it becomes a big thing? So thoughts would be great on that one, but I haven't used it all year. So I kind of don't see the point of writing it down every single time just to put a 0 beside it. I have read a few middle grade books, not necessarily every single month, but I don't think I need to scrap that one because there are some books on my TBR list that are middle grade. And so I had 13 adult reads and 3 were young adult. And we're now just doing the star rating pie chart, and then I'm going through it and adding all the others. And I will put down the stats for genres in a moment. I have forgotten in the past when I was setting this up. Past me was not prepared as well as she thought she was, and just started filling in the pie charts, forgetting to add in the information for genres. It was interesting though, because I had no romance reads, and that ended up mixing up my color key, because I obviously have a special color key for genres, but I also just did these all in the order that they come in normally on the page. And so it was really interesting to see that I had marked down historical romance in blue when that's typically a green color. So yeah. Anyway, 6 fantasy, 6 romantasy, 1 historical romance, and 3 sci-fi reads were read. And the reason I read 3 sci-fi was simply because that was the genre theme for Maple Stories, one of the readathons that I participate in every month. And so I had an obligation to read 3 sci-fi reads. I will admit that was the hardest thing of the month, because I just don't enjoy sci-fi very much. I know that dystopia that's underneath that, so I just used that for 2 of the reads. Yeah, very interesting to try and read an actual sci-fi. I had no interest in it, so that is something that I will be a bit more mindful about and next year when I do my genre list, because obviously the sci-fis that I've read this year, there's only been 4 of them, and it has its own little category where I've read more of other genres. So very interesting. We're into the last book now. Like I said, this is flying through, and we are doing my Gamifying reading journal here, which is where I track all my readathons. I'm going to have the worst time trying to pull these stickers off the backings so I can stick them in my book, so do bear with. But the Buzzword Challenge, I was able to participate in the June one as well as fill in one for March. And then for the cover, so that was for title. For cover, I have been doing very well and being able to finish it every month. So I was able to add that to the June list. Also with easy reading, that was filled in. Year of Goober was also filled in. And now we are just going to add these 3 covers here for the map of stories. I don't know why I've been writing down the titles when you can read them off the covers, but I've been doing that. So I figured I might as well just continue it for the rest of the year. And then I did finally get down some pens to put these little dots on that I forgot and grabbed the wrong brown. So please just ignore that. And the last thing was to add some books to the Q2 cover bingo here. And then this is all done. Do make a slight mistake. I put food instead of skyline on the list, and then I just write over the top of it. It doesn't make any sense to anyone else, but I know what it says. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you've been doing well. I've missed you all. I'm so sorry it's been quiet around here. It's just been how it is, and I have quite a few videos to now share with you, so hopefully you don't mind me bombarding you. And until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading or journaling, and I will see you sometime very, very soon in my Q2 flip through journal video. I just have to edit it, so look out for that coming soon, and I hope you're all well. Bye everyone.